Hi, this is Monaco64 here. This is the first live stream that I'll be doing, and it's a special non-farm payroll US job data live stream. I don't think there's anyone on yet, but yeah, hopefully this will go well. We've got like a couple of minutes to go until the non-farm payroll number. Gold is at 1310, silver 1639. The Dow is down 45, S&P futures down 5, Nasdaq down 10. So we're going to see how the market reacts to these numbers. So let's have a look here. The market expects, a number around 189,000 versus the 103,000. That's the non-farm payroll. The average hourly earnings, that's expected 0.2 versus 0.3. That's an important number to look at, an important component, I would say. Hi, Alex Panna is joined. Hi, Alex. So I've got 30 people already. That's good. This is first time I've done this. And it'll be interesting to see what the markets do. They move very quickly. All the machines, the algos, they react to the number quicker than the human mind. So Alex is asking if he should get rid of these QQ triple Q puts. Just remind me, Alex, what are these on, these puts, the QQQ? Hi, Todd. Nice to see you. Todd from Michigan is on. So let's see how long we've got. Less than a minute now, 15 seconds. So this is going to be quite interesting. Let's see what the numbers are. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's have a look here. Should update quite quickly. We'll look. Average hourly earnings, they were, let's have a look here. Nothing out yet. Should let's have a look. Well, gold is up here, 1314. The stock market is recovered, and the dollar is still fairly weak. Let's see what the actual numbers were. My investing.com, it's 164,000, the number, so that's weaker than expected. The previous number was revised up from like 109 to 135. Actually, average hourly earnings, that's going to help the market, I think. That came out at 0.1, was expected 0.2, and the previous number was revised from 0.3 down to 0.2. So I think that's the Fed trying to manipulate these numbers and trying to maybe slow down bond yields. Let's have a look at bond yields, where they are. The 10-year yield was at 293 before the number, and it's still at 293. The 2-year yield, let's have a look, is at 247. So that's dropped from 250 from a few days ago. Hi, everyone. So I've got 61 viewers. That's good. Hi, Laura. Hi, Chris. Crypto Bird Dog. Hi, Crypto Bird Dog. Hiroko Hazagawa from Croydon. Hello, Hiroko. So let's see what the markets are doing now after these numbers. So gold is up a bit. Silver is unchanged now. The Dow was down about 50 prior to the number, and now it's unchanged, the Dow future. The Nasdaq is also recovered a little bit. So for the question about the QQQ, I would probably wait until the main market opens. So that's going to be in about an hour, just under an hour. So what about the currencies? Yeah, the pound is recovered a little bit. The euro is still quite weak. So these numbers, if anything, I think they might help the currency, so hurt the dollar. So Jack Catalano asked, Mario, when do you see gold and silver spiking? I've been waiting for years. Yeah, I have been waiting for years as well, Jack. I've been buying gold since 2002. So I sat through when gold was doing nothing, like from 2002 to 2005 in pound terms, and then it spiked in 2008 to 1,000, and then it dropped to 650, and then it went up to almost 2,000. I think we need to be patient. Yeah, hi, Crypto Bird Dog. Yeah, the unemployment rate, I wouldn't really look too much into that. That's more of a political thing. I think Donald Trump will come out and say, oh, look at the unemployment rate is at a three handle. But it doesn't mean anything because the common denominator of the unemployment rate is the people that are looking for jobs that are not employed. And those people are always dropping. There's almost 100 million people that don't work in the States that could work. So, and they're not looking for a job and they're not claiming. So they're not in that 3.9%. Chris Weebers, can I ask you how much gold you buy each month? Which tactic do you use? Well, Chris, I've already bought. To be honest, I haven't been buying too much gold. The last time I bought quite a bit of gold was when I moved to my new house. I had some money left over from the old house, and I used some of that to buy quite a bit of gold, and the rest I used for renovations in the new house. But I haven't really, I've been buying sometimes silver, but not that much gold. I've got all the gold I think that I need. First time tuning in live. I love your videos. That's David. Thank you, David. So we've got 84 people. That's not bad. We've been going on for 7 minutes. So let's see what Zero Hedge, for example, is saying about these numbers, if they've got anything out already. No, nothing out. So what do I think about these numbers? Well, I think I think the Fed is definitely gonna pushing, the powers that be that manage the markets, like the Fed, the Treasury. They're pushing a new theme now that things are slowing down, that inflation is not a problem as well. They're going to use the wage number here that came out, average hourly earnings at 0.1% to justify that, even though I personally think, the cost of living is still going up. Odd Job from Argentina. Hi, Odd Job. Nice to see you. I'm originally from Brazil, so not far away from Argentina. I saw the Argentine peso is getting hit quite hard. Maybe Odd Job could tell us what's going on there, if he's has some crypto or gold that's protecting his wealth. Anthony Ulfig, I also like your videos. New subscriber for 2 months. Thanks, Anthony. John Lord. Hi, John from Manchester, UK. Nice to see you. Mario, I work in the construction industry in Florida. Over 50% of jobs are taken by illegals that are counted in the jobs numbers, but not the census. That's these nuts. Yeah, I mean, that's yeah, what can I say about that? The Watcher, good afternoon, Maneko. Always enjoy the videos, great content. Have a good bank holiday weekend. Cheers. Yeah, in the UK here, it's a long weekend. On Monday, it's a holiday. For me, it doesn't really matter. I'll still do my videos. I guess if I was working for a company, I would have a day off. Gregory KH, hi, Mario, saying hello from Shanghai in China. Wow, everywhere. Odd Job says, I'm not from Argentina, actually hoping you can discuss what's going on and what could happen in the next 5 years. Well, the other thing that's going on recently that I want to talk about is the interest rates. and a lot of people are talking about like how the interest rates are inverting. And why is that important? Well, because the banks and the financial institutions, they borrow short term, which because short term rates are usually lower, and they lend long term, which is wrong. It's a wrong. I think it should be illegal or regulated, because you're borrowing for a year and you're lending for 10. So it's very risky, because the short term rates start going up. uh, every year you have to refinance. And what's happening now is that, for example, a year ago, the 10-year yield was 100 basis points higher than the 2-year yield. But now the 2-year yield is at 246, the 10 years at 292. So it's only 36 basis points higher. So that means that financial institutions that have been borrowing short to lend long, they might get into trouble. What if short-term rates go above the long-term rates? That's going to hit the economy really hard, and that's why people usually say that when there's an inversion of the interest rate curve, there's a recession. So that's what I think is really important right now. I personally think this number is perfect for the Fed. This is probably what they wanted. They've given Trump the 3.9% unemployment rate, which doesn't mean anything. And they've lowered the average hourly earnings. So I think, this. Let's see what the markets are doing now. Hi, Scott Wordle. Let's see. Yeah, the 10-year, Alex Penna says at least 10-year yields are going down. Yeah, they are lower. We got up to 298, I think, yesterday or the day before. Right now, it's down 3 basis points. It spiked lower after the number. Billy, someone from Michigan is saying, Indiana is saying hello to you. Billy's just fallen asleep. He doesn't. He said he's going to go short the 2-year note. We will listen to your videos every day. A day without Monaco 4 is a day without sunshine. That's No. Thank you. Let's see what the markets are doing now. The Dow is coming back down. So yeah, I think that Dow is weaker, down 46 points. S&P down 5. The Nasdaq is now down 11. And actually, let's see the euro here. What the euro is doing? Yeah, the euro is right near the lows. So strangely, the dollar is a little stronger after these numbers. Gold and silver are still pretty much where they were. They're a little higher than they were before the numbers. So let's see. Crypto Bird Dog. Can gold run with crypto? I'm not sure. I mean, cryptocurrencies have been doing quite well the last 24 hours, especially Bitcoin and Ethereum. I've noticed EOS is kind of it. How can I say? Did better than all the other cryptos last week and prior to the last few days, but now it seems that all the other cryptos are catching up. I'm not sure. I mean, I think gold and crypto are not too related, I would say. So no, but my video this morning, I said that gold, if it broke through 1,300, could go to 1,250. But the longer term trend is still very positive, and that the gold silver ratio is, how can I say, pointing to a bottom in precious metals. I think we just need to be patient. I know it's frustrating. I wanted to show you something because this is what I used to do when I worked in the city. This is my notebook. This is when if you can see it, notebook. It's when I worked for ABN AMRO Bank. Was actually ABN AMRO Chicago Corp. It was the futures arm of ABN AMRO Bank. And before that, I worked for Citibank for Citi Futures, and they sold Citi Futures to ABN AMRO Chicago Corp. So I've got my notebook from 1997, and I'll just show you. I got used to get the orders and then put the orders in and scribble everything. And I found something really interesting because I used to write notes. So when I talk to clients, I could tell them, what was going on. I used to write all the support and resistance levels, and I made a note on the 5th of August, 1997, and it says U.S. Treasury Secretary Summers says there is no inflationary pressure in the horizon for the U.S. economy. So yeah, this was he became Treasury Secretary Summers, and he was the guy who pushed for the abolition of Glass-Steagall, or the repeal of Glass-Steagall, and he lost billions of dollars as well to for the Harvard Endowment Fund as well. So Larry Summers, respected economist. So he said 21 years ago, there's no inflationary pressure in the horizon for U.S. economy. And what I've done is I looked at there's a website called the U.S. Inflation Calculator, and I put the date 1997 to 2018, and they use the CPI, which is, as all of you know, CPI is manipulated. They're saying the CPI has gone up only 2.4% in the last 21 years. So if you put something that you bought for $20 in 1997 now is $31 according to the government numbers. So there you go, Larry Summers saying that there's no inflationary pressure. So that's another central banker politician scam. So let's see. So I've got now 128 people. That's good because I didn't warn people I was going to make this live stream. So I'm glad to see all the people come up. So let's see. E-Landscaper live. How cool. Yeah, nice to see everyone, the interest. Best wishes and many thanks from Switzerland. Juru84. Hi, Juru. I lived in Switzerland for 5 years. So yeah, I lived in Geneva. Jack Catalano, your ability to make complex issues easily understandable is a gift. Much appreciated. Oh, you're welcome. Tom Manley, live and unchained, Monaco64. Brandon Fallon from us. Hi, Brandon. Hi, mate, from Australia. Lord, I guess today I'm not really into Star Wars. My wife is, but apparently it's Star Wars Day, May the 4th. So live from New York City, banking corrupt capital. Well, I'm not in New York City. I'm in London, but maybe Wilfredo Torres is. Me too. Hi from Australia, Mario. RJN 4444. Thumbs up, people. Mash the like button and share. Tom Manley, golfing this weekend. Hi, Tom. Yeah, I think I'm going to play tomorrow morning, Saturday. I'm not playing on Sunday or Monday. We usually have a competition on Sundays at my club, but it's a holiday here, so there's no competition. Alex Panna, how come you don't have an English accent? Well, because I studied. I grew up in Brazil. I went to an American school, high school. I went to university in Florida for a few years, and then I finished university in Geneva, Switzerland. And so I have an American accent. I've been in London since 1992, and I haven't lost my accent. My wife is English, though. She's got an English accent, and my daughter. Havazalet Capital. Hi from Israel. Hi, Havazalet. Texas says hi from Knowledge or Profits. Yeah, this is really good. I mean, I was telling my wife earlier that I was going to do a live stream, and she said, "Well, I hope it goes well." I said, "I don't know if anyone's going to show up, but you guys have." Helen, greetings from Singapore. Hi, Helen. V. Bjorn Gritton, what do you think of job reports, Mario? Estimated in 192. So do you think market will feel fear? Well, V. Bjorn, I think these numbers are all manipulated anyway. And what the working group on financial markets or the plunge protection team do, they meet together and they say, this is what we need to do for these numbers, how they, to keep the market going. And I think that's what they've done. It's going to, in my opinion, make the Fed less dovish, and the markets are going to discount maybe less interest rate hikes, which is something they need because I think this policy of taking back QE is having a great impact on the markets. It's not being the paint is not just watching paint dry, in my opinion. So the Fed's scared. Has Billy got an English accent? Well, I don't know. That's a good one. Jan Davelin from Sweden. High asset prices have inflated. Do you think, Dan the Man? Do you think banks have bought bonds? Well, they probably have a bit. You know, the way the bond markets work, they're very leveraged because I worked in the futures market and I did a lot of bonds, 10-year futures, Bund futures, which is the German government bond future. Yeah, they probably come in and bought thousands of contracts on the longer end, and it's all leveraged. It's not like they've come in and bought real physical cash bonds. So yeah, they're probably buying, the traders in the bond markets, the hedge funds as well, mainly because of their average hourly earnings number. And that's probably what the Fed's they're trying to keep interest rates from rising. And that's why they had that great number. Brendan Fallon, hi Mario. What can the 10-year US bond yield go to before equity market implodes? Well, I think the 3% is the key level. Intraday, it's 304. We've been up there, I think, about 2 weeks ago. Right now, you know, it's backed off. We're down 3 basis points right now at 291. So that's good for the equity markets. But the equity markets are actually lower today. They're down 64. I think it's mainly because, you know, the Fed is trying to be so clever that, you know, at the same time, these numbers are showing that the economy is weak. And maybe we don't have the how they call it, the Goldilocks economy. So Roland Ormrod, hi Mario, what do you think will be the trigger for the 10-year yield to make a convincing move over 3% level? Well, it could be, you know, the next CPI numbers. They might not be able to keep them under wraps, or it could be just the market. It could be that foreigners like the Japanese, the Chinese, the Russians keep selling their treasuries. It could be even if the economy weakens, it could trigger higher rates because the U.S. government now, they're on a really bad fiscal path, in my opinion. Higher deficits. So let's see, 135 global viewers. Yeah, 138 now, Crypto Bird Dog. Tom Manley, we can't afford to pay interest if yields go much higher. An inversion of the 10-30 in bonds, could it happen? Yeah, it could, but it's still, I think it's about 20 basis points now still. The 30 years still higher. The thing about inversions, as I was talking earlier, is if the curve inverts a lot, that will hurt the banks because banks are in the business of borrowing short term and lending long term. So if the short term rates go higher than the long term rates, it screws up all their balance sheet. Axel Perez, notice how the PPP does not allow the market to go to fair value. Yeah, they've been doing Axel. They've been doing it for years, but one day it's all just gonna like implode. I know people have been saying this for years, but it will. You can't keep something like that. It's not sustainable. Hyman Echo, are you watching the Kentucky Derby? No, I'm not into horse racing. And in the UK, it's not a big thing. They've got their own races here, big races like the Grand National. But the Kentucky Derby, no, I'm not. I used to when I was in the States. It's a big day. GM Van Weird is saying, hi, hearing you work there, how would you comment on ABN AMRO being saved by the government Dutch, then making billions of euros in EBT a few years later? Well, I worked for ABN AMRO from 1997 till 2003. So, and I know all the banks were bailed out, not just ABN AMRO, and I think it's completely wrong. And when the crisis happened in 2008, I was working for MF Global, or or at the time it was called Men Financial, and they went bust as well, but they weren't bailed out because they weren't big enough. No, I think it's all wrong. The bankers should not have been bailed out, be it ABN AMRO, or I even worked for Citibank. Citibank has been bailed out twice in the last, well, since 1990. I think that Prince Awalid, the Saudi prince, he came in and bailed out Citibank in 1992, I think, or 1990, and then the U.S. Treasury bailed out Citibank. I think it's wrong. So, Oliver Bristol, have you ever considered entering politics? No, no, Oliver, I haven't, because yeah, I think I would be like Ron Paul. People were asking, so what are you campaigning for? And I would say, I'm campaigning for nothing. I want people to be left alone. So I don't think I'd be very popular, but who knows? Uh, Tom Manley, do this again, sir. Good fun. I will. As I said in my video earlier today, I bought a new PC yesterday. I bought an iMac, 21.5 inch. I still have my old MacBook Pro, but it was getting really slow. So now I'll be able to do this, and it's pretty fun, I think. So let's see what the markets are doing. Yeah, the gold and silver are very steady, holding above 1310 gold, silver at 1644, Dow down 54, S&P down 5, Nasdaq down 11. And the dollar, though, is quite weak against the yen. Even though the other currencies are stronger, the dollar is down almost over 1/3% against the yen. So that's quite interesting. It's at below 109. So I think it's interesting to keep an eye on the dollar versus the yen, because if the dollar drops further, that could be positive for precious metals. Odd job, are silver prices being suppressed? Yeah, I definitely think silver and gold have been suppressed. But it's like it's like a basketball. You're trying to keep it under the water in a swimming pool. Once it comes up, it's going to explode. It's like a pressure cooker. It will. Um, so, what do you think of Deutsche Bank and derivatives? Well, Deutsche Bank, yeah, they're the most leveraged bank in the world, the investment banks. Derivatives, I used to work with, that's from Tony, the question. I used to work, hi, Tony from Seattle. I used to work in the derivatives market, futures and options, and those are exchange traded derivatives. And exchange traded derivatives are very transparent. You can see the amount of positions people have. It is leverage as well. But the derivatives that are really dangerous are the over-the-counter derivatives. They are, how can I say, not transparent at all, and they are contracts between banks, clients, and yeah, Deutsche Bank has got a huge amount of derivatives, and I think they probably passed it on to other counterparties. But I see that they're actually getting out of investment banking in the U.S. So yeah, derivatives. I think the nominal amount of derivatives out there is over $1 quadrillion, which is over 1,000 trillion. That's the nominal amount. The bankers say it doesn't matter because it all nets out. But the problem is when one of the counterparty fails, then that nominal amount becomes important. Let's see. Matteo Di Fiori sold all my crypto. Okay. Helen Mario, I had difficulty getting your site on your new range of Billy products. The site was removed somehow. Oh, hi, Helen. Yeah, I did a campaign, a new design a few days ago, and then teespring.com, they stopped it because the guy who designed it, he put the YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook logos, and Teespring said, "Oh, this is, because of copyright, they had to cancel it." So I redone the design, and you can go back to have a look. It's on teespring.com new hyphen Monaco 64. So I've redone the design and you'll be able to get it now. Let's check here again. Let's see. 1 second. Just give you the. Yeah, it's new hyphen Monaco 64. So teespring.com / new hyphen Monaco 64.com. So you can get the new designs. John Hill is saying to Matteo, you might be waiting for a while. That's what I thought. Matteo De Fury waiting for $5,000 Bitcoin. Well, we got to 6,000 a couple of times, so I'm not sure if he'll go back there. I think the key resistance now for Bitcoin is going to be 10,000, and we're approaching that right now. I think we're at 9,700. Crypto retirement for me. Hello from Florida, USA. Hi, crypto retirement. Odd Job says Goldman Sachs creating a Bitcoin derivatives trading desk. Yeah, they're going to start trading cryptocurrencies. I saw an article yesterday. Goldman Sachs said that they don't think Bitcoin is a fraud. I guess that was in reference to Jamie Dimon's comment last year. And that, yeah, they've even hired someone to do for their digital, they call it digital assets desk, a guy by the name of Justin Schmidt. I read that like a week or 10 days or so ago. So I think cryptocurrencies, the blockchain, are here to stay. Still, it doesn't change what I think about gold and silver. You go back 150 years ago when the telegraph was invented. People might have thought, oh, we don't need gold and silver anymore because we can transfer the money through messages. But no, it's still around. So the government of Bhutan is a constitutional monarchy. Okay. Paz Rand, did you see the Invictus ICO? No, I haven't looked at that. Johnny Tang, hello, Mario. Any comment about crypto EOS? Yeah, EOS. If any of you have watched my videos, that's my really one of my favorites. And why? Well, because the guy who founded it and started it, one of the co-founders, Dan Larimer, he's behind BitShares. He was behind Steemit, so he's got the track record. And I like his philosophy. So yeah, I like EOS. I mean, it's kind of underperformed the last 2 days, but it had outperformed everything else so much. So I'm not surprised. But yeah, I'm positive about EOS. And I've been adding on to my position in EOS. Crypto retirement, you need cryptos and silver and gold. I agree, crypto retirement. David Shin, Bitcoin has no future since we have a hash graph that solves Byzantine dilemma. Yeah, I've looked into hash graph. The only thing about hash graph is that it's patented. It's not open source, so it's going to be really hard for them to grow a big community like EOS. So it's still up in the air, but you could be right, David Shin. Peter Rychuk. Hi, Mario. Big fan here. Have you reviewed Omizago cryptocurrency? No, I haven't looked into that, Peter. Crypto Bird Dog, necessary to help new investors know the difference between of centralized versus decentralized. Yeah. And the thing about EOS is that they've done their crowd sale over a year, so they've been able to spread the ownership of the tokens. So Brad Window 07, holy racist. I don't know what he's going on about. Wilfredo Torres, precious metals have many uses, will never go away. I agree. Crypto retirement. Mario, thank you for all your work. You're welcome. What's your forecast for for gold end of year. Thomas Torzi. Well, I don't try to make these forecasts of year end gold. It's difficult to say. Hopefully, it'll be a lot higher, but you never know. I mean, the bullion banks always make forecasts, and they're always really never bullish, the bullion banks. William Magoo, hi, excellent channel. Your thoughts on diversification? Thanks. Well, yeah, I think diversification is important, even though some people, I think I've heard someone say, maybe Warren Buffett, that if you think something is really, if you really believe in a company or an idea, you should put your money in it. Why diversify? But it is good to diversify, I think, and that's why, yeah, because if one of your investors is not doing too much, but the other one is going up, then you feel better about it and you can hold the other one without worrying. And that's why I've diversified since the beginning of the year. I've gone a lot more into the cryptocurrencies. I haven't touched my precious metals, so I'm quite happy with diversification. Um, Knowledge or profits? Do you ever think we will experience a crack up boom? Yeah, crack up boom. I think we're experiencing it now, and that would end in hyperinflation. That's the Austrian school. It's possible, and it happens very quickly. It's like they call it a thief in the night. Look what happened in Argentina the last few days. I think their currency is just dumped. I was reading in King World News the other day as well about the Asian crisis in 1998, how all of a sudden all the Asian currencies just collapsed against the dollar out of out of the blue. Warren Buffett thought his Apple holdings now the third largest. Yeah, yeah. Well, Warren Buffett, I remember back in early '90s, mid '90s, he wouldn't put a penny into technology or internet. He said, "I don't know anything about this business." So people changed their minds. What is going on with Brexit? Alex Alexander is asking. Well, it's just very, they're dragging their feet. I think they're just trying to make it really difficult. And maybe the public weren't uh, given all the information and how difficult it would be to get out of Brexit. I think now, well, from what I hear, is that the customs union will have to be in place until 2023. So it's going to be a soft Brexit, it looks like. Uh, Big Daddy, hey Mario, live. It's almost like I'm meeting you. Howdy. Howdy, Big Daddy. Stream down? Is it down? No, I don't think it's down. Would you, Scott Ward, would you ever like live in South America again? Which country, if so? Uh, yeah, I guess Brazil. That's where I'm from. I've got a Brazilian passport. But there are other nice countries in South America, like Chile and Argentina. Yeah, those, and Uruguay as well. I've got an uncle who lives in Uruguay. So Uruguay is quite a, yeah, it's only 3 million people. It's quite a big country. They used to call it the Switzerland of South America, Uruguay, but not too sure how it's doing right now. Let's see. Paz Ran, what made you realize to create a YouTube channel? Well, I was watching a lot of YouTube a few years ago. I started watching because my daughter started watching YouTube videos, and I stopped watching television. And then I like to watch JSnip4, and I thought I liked his videos, and I said, if he can do it, why can't I? And then I started doing it, and I started doing it about things that I know. Nicholas Lyons, do you speak Portuguese? Yes, I do. Brazilian Portuguese, I guess. John Roberts, are the swings in the markets normal because of how high the market is? Well, yeah, of course. I mean, 100 and 200 points nowadays in the Dow is not as much as it was in the 90s. But percentage-wise, it's quite, in the beginning of the year, it was moving quite a bit. But right now, it's kind of not as much. The volatility's come up. How much can gold go up in relation to production costs? Wouldn't wouldn't more and more mines open if the price skyrockets and drives it back down? That's from Rick. Well, that's a good question. I think the mine opening a mine is not that easy. You have to explore first, do the exploration, all the studies. It could take 10 years for gold to open a new gold mine, and I don't think they've been doing that the last few years. So I think the supply of gold from mines is going to drop a lot in the next few years. And the thing about gold is that mine supply doesn't really affect things too much because there's so much gold in existence that's been mined that it's not really affected by supply and demand that much. So gold is more of an emotional, I think, investment. You know, if there's fear, the gold will go up. If there's no fear and the markets are calm, gold will stay down. So I don't think it's got much to do. You know, even if the price of gold goes up to 3,000 and you can mine it for 1,500. Yes, people are gonna rush. There's gonna be people trying to open new mines, but in the last, you know, since 2011, the mining sector has been really shrinking. So it's gonna take a while to get all the mines open. Yeah, almost 200 watching. Laura Shergold, Johnny Generic. Hey Mario. Yeah, so I thought that would be interesting, you know, to talk, uh, do a live stream you know, after non-farm payroll. Looking at the markets here now, gold has come back to 1310. That's pretty much where we were before the number. Silver is 1640. The Dow's down 31. While the pound has just dropped quite a bit against the dollar. That's for my UK viewers. I think the pound is going to continue to go down quite a bit. So the dollar now is coming back up here a bit. So I think, yeah, this is, I think I'll stop now if you don't mind. And maybe I'll do another one over the weekend, another one of these. I think it's been pretty successful. And thanks for everyone that watched and that made comments. And thanks, Jack. Cheers, Paz. Hi, Savio. Yeah, we're gonna close now. I've been doing this for 42 minutes, but yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. And nice to see everyone here. Thank you and take care. Bye.